Well, I'm standing here with a standing stone in the townland of Boheh, and it's about 100 metres or so south of the Boheh stone. It's very prominent in the field, and it's aligned on a kind of roughly north-south axis. The standing stones could also be referred to in Irish as Galán, and nobody ever knows exactly why a standing stone is put standing erect in a field. Sometimes it's thought they might mark the place where somebody important in a tribe or in a community was buried. Others maintain that it might mark territorial boundaries, that certain clans or certain tribes, would have the use of lands up to a certain point, and they weren't into building fences or boundaries back then, so they put a stone here, a stone there, and a few more. They'd know that if you go beyond that, you're into another man's land. And others maintain then that the standing stones were used in a kind of a ceremonial cult, with the inauguration of a new chieftain or a new leader or something like that. Without doing an excavation, you could never be 100% certain. And even doing an excavation, if you found nothing, you'd be none the wiser. So, you can only speculate on them, other to know that they are prehistoric and that they are a landmark, from that time of man's activity, and they certainly have stood the test of time.
Are there many of them around?
There's scores of them around, all right. Yeah. You'd get a few hundred of them now in the county of Mayo altogether. There's a lot of them in the Louisburgh parish, and there's a fair scatter of them now in the Westport Wood parish as well too, and up around Ballinrobe. Throughout, really, you get them down around Achill. In some cases, you do get an alignment of stone as well too. You might have 2 or 3 or 4 stones which form a line. And I know when I was working in the neighbouring townland of Liscarney a number of years ago, there's a lovely monument there from the Bronze Age also. It's called Ring Barrow, and there's a beautiful view of it looking out over Croagh Patrick. But the people who owned that land, they told me that they had done some reclamation where there was a lot of ash and briars which were cleared away. But they said inside and all that vegetation, there were 3 or 4 stones which had been standing up in a line as well too. And they thought nothing of them, and they just had them removed by machine. So possibly that was a stone alignment in the townland of Liscarney as well too. But you do get stone alignments in the parish of Louisburgh as well too. You get some in Achill, and a lot in the counties of Donegal and Kerry also.
So they were kind of a fence, really?
With the stone alignments, maybe not so much. It's thought that the alignments would be something a little bit more astronomical. That they would be lining up with some little feature or some rising sun or setting sun phenomenon or that. But a single stone, maybe on its own, yes. But a stone alignment, it's thought to be something more important than that. Maybe astronomical.